So, I originally planned to do a review of this movie, but after watching it in full, all I can really say is no. So that's why I'm just going to do this quick vlog on it. So, as the title suggests, yes, I sat through the Emoji movie, and is it bad? Yes, it really is. Is it one of the worst movies ever? I don't know if I could even say that, because, I mean, even in terms of bad kids movies, I've sat through worse. I've sat through Sir Billy, and that was a hell of a lot worse. That had worse animation. That's the one thing I can give this movie credit for, is that it has good animation. And then I expected that from Sony, because even though I'm not really a huge fan of Sony, especially with all their copyright policies, similar to other companies like Disney and Warner Brothers and Hasbro and a bunch of other companies. Yeah, Sony has bullcrap copyright terms and all that kind of stuff. However, this movie does have good animation, and I can definitely give the animators who worked on this movie credit. And from what I can tell, Sony, especially from what we heard back when the whole thing about Sausage Party came out, for the people who work at Sony as animators, you guys deserve a lot of credit. Even if they're bad movies, you guys put your all into film. So you guys deserve all the credit that I could possibly give. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about why this movie fails. Really, it's exactly what I was expecting, to be honest. I was expecting far worse, but everything that I heard that was bad about this movie was correct. I saw a lot of bad things with this film. Okay. So, generic characters, obviously. I mean, really, you look at the trailer and everyone made the comparisons. Everyone's like, oh, it's like the Lego Movie, it's like Inside Out, it's like Wreck-It Ralph. Yes, it is exactly like that. One movie that kind of came to mind was Bug's Life, because that was kind of similar, with the main character being he's the outcast who just needs a chance to prove himself. That's what I was thinking of. It's like, you've got generic main character, he's just there to be the main character, and he feels like an outcast, and he wants to make everything right, wants to prove himself. You've got the annoying sidekick who's supposed to be the comedic relief. One of the popular examples is Larry the Cable Guy's Mater, and then you got the love interest, who in this case is played by Anna Faris. And okay, I wanted to talk about this. Her whole role in this movie feels like it was completely squandered, because it's like, okay, they established that she don't need no man, she an independent type. But then I talked about the same thing in my Kangaroo Jack review. I just noticed that it's like it's that annoying trope where, I don't care if you're a man, woman, whatever, they have this trope where they set them up to be independent, and they're not going to hook up with the main character, and then boom, it happens. It's as soon as they come on screen, as soon as you see them in the trailer, you know that they're going to get together, and boom, that's what happens here. I'm not surprised though, because after all, this is a generic film. So obviously, Gene wants to be a meh emoji, because that's what he was destined to be, because his parents are meh emojis. The parents are the best characters in the movie, and even then, their story basically amounts to they have heartfelt fights, but they do it in a meh monotone. It's kind of funny? Question mark. So yeah, Gene wants to be a meh emoji. He screws up on his first try, so then he decides he's going to leave the phone with his sidekick, High Five, and they go into all these different apps. They come across this hacker named, I was about to say Wild Style, that's from Lego Movie. Her name was Jailbreak, and that's basically the whole film, is that then they just go into different apps, kill time. They go into Candy Crush, which I didn't even think that was still popular, but apparently it is. They go into Spotify, they go into YouTube at one point. Well, they don't, but somebody does. And okay, here's my biggest problem with the movie. Screw the generic characters, screw the generic story, screw even the generic message of you gotta be yourself and do what you think's right. Screw that, right? Screw all that generic crap. The thing that I hate about this movie the most, it's like when you watch a bad video game movie or adaptation for television, and it feels like they got nothing from the games in there. That's what this movie's like, because they reference Facebook, and they make it a joke like it was, oh my god, it's worse than when they did it in Disaster Movie. but the joke was like, oh, everyone's talking about themselves on Facebook. Okay, like, South Park made the same joke back when Facebook was relatively relevant. Not this. Like, why would you make that joke in 2017? Why? And, okay, when they go into YouTube, the two videos that they reference specifically are Pineapple Pen and that funny cat video of a cat going like this. Just why? It's like, that's not what people do. And like, okay, when we all saw the trailer, it was like, oh, the eggplant, you know, they're saying no one uses the eggplant emoji when everyone does. I was like, okay, that's a stupid joke, but whatever. Seeing them reference deliberately dated stuff was just so baffling, because I'm like, that's so cringy. It's like, this is what they think people nowadays unironically like. And okay, this is another part where it's like, they don't even get certain aspects of internet culture right. Like, there's a part where they go into this like app that's like a seedy biker bar, and there's a bunch of internet trolls, and it's like, oh, look guys, emojis showed up, and then it's like, oh, ignore them, they're just trolls. It's like, that's not something you download onto a phone. Like, everything else is like something you can download. Why? Like, when the trolls get deleted, like, along with all the other stuff that got deleted earlier on in the movie, it's like, you don't delete trolls, because trolls aren't a thing you get on your phone. It's so stupid. Honestly, like, there's nothing that I can really say that other people haven't said before. And so that's why I made this a vlog. It's like, I really can't think of anything new to talk about with this movie. So, I mean, yeah, like, the overall story, you know what's gonna happen, you know, like, they get to Dropbox, and they go to this, like, they get past the firewall so that Jailbreak could reprogram Gene so that he becomes a proper emoji. And he tries to give his feelings to her, and then she like kind of shoots him down, but not really, and then he becomes all meh, and then he leaves, and then he gets taken back to the text app, and he's about to be deleted, because that's the one thing, the main villain, Smiler, who is apparently the original emoji. I will say this, it just came to me. The elderly emojis are a bunch of emoticons, like back when people did XD and like :P. That was actually funny. It was a charming little visual gag. Then the villain, Smiler, tries to delete Gene. Then everyone shows up, Gene's parents, and then High Five and Jailbreak, and you know, they stop the evil deleting robot thing, and that crushes Smiler. Even though she's not dead, she's just crushed. Okay, that's her defeat. Then, you know, it seems like the whole phone's about to get deleted, because while on the outside, the kid Alex, who owns his phone, the phone keeps going on the fritz because of the stuff that's going on within the movie. So it's kind of like Inside Out, except not really. A bunch of stuff goes haywire. He sends it to the phone store so that they could look at it, and they're about to delete everything, but then Gene's the one that saves the day, because Gene proves what kind of emoji he really is. He's a multi-emotioned emoji, because Gene's a special one. He's a special snowflake, and yeah, he's different from the rest. And that's it. Alex sends a text using the Gene emoji to the girl he really likes and asks her out to prom, and that's it. They go to prom, and the movie ends with one of the most annoying cliches that keep showing up in kids' movies that are animated. It always has to end with a dance party. Even movies that I like, even movies that I actually enjoy, like Daddy's Home. The first Daddy's Home ended with a dance sequence, and I'm like... And that was also baffling in that movie, because they used a song like a G6, which was like from 2009, 2010. It was like, what? And that's what this movie felt like. This movie is just, look at this stuff from like internet culture from like the mid to late 2000s, and it's like, why reference any of that? And if it wasn't referencing that, it was referencing stuff that obviously a lot of people use, like Spotify and Dropbox and Twitter. The Twitter one was the worst, because it's like, aside from the YouTube one, that one was actually worse. But the Twitter one's the second worst, because it's like, okay, because they established that Jailbreak is actually a princess emoji who's trying to fight the system. But again, that character arc just completely goes out of the way when it comes to saving Gene. And they're like, how are we going to get back to him? He's all the way in Textopolis by now, because they're in the Dropbox during this scene. And she's like, because they keep hinting that, oh, princess emojis, which she really is, can whistle and make birds show up. So she whistles, and the Twitter bird shows up, and they ride on its back. Shout out to Twitter, y'all. So yeah, that's really all I could say. This movie... Okay. If you watch the video on this channel, it's the Blockbusters review of Norm of the North, and in the video they say that the movie was just kind of a regular bad movie, and it wasn't really, like, the worst thing ever, like a lot of people said. That's how I feel about this, to be honest. Like, it's a bad movie, don't get me wrong. It's bad. Like, it's so bad, apparently not even the target demographic of kids liked it, because people made videos saying that they went to the theater, and apparently they weren't very packed theaters either, and they said that not even the kids in the audience laughed at a lot of the jokes. So it's fair to say that a movie failed when the target demographic of children didn't even find the movie enjoyable. But this really is, like, this is just like Norm of the North, in that it's a bad movie, yeah, but when everyone says it's the worst movie ever made, it feels like a bit of an exaggeration. Like, when I saw this, it's just a generic... Like, that's the best way I can describe this movie. It's generic. There's no personality to it. Like, you've seen these movies before, and you've seen them done far better. So, that's really all I can say about the Emoji Movie, and that's... Yeah, that basically sums it up. This movie is the equivalent of looking at a meh emoji for about an hour and a half, and going, yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, that's my final thoughts on the Emoji Movie, and I've got one more video for this month planned, and that's coming soon, so look forward to that. Until next time, guys, I'm the Media Wiz, because one art form wasn't enough.